Alright, let's review because apparently it's time
No
for
matter what side of the political spectrum you might find
the
yourself
actual
on,
insurrection
I'm not
happened
here
in
to
November
lie
of
to
2020.
anyone. I'm not
What
here
happened
to
on
make
January
stuff up
6th was to
just
make
to
sure there wasn't
suit
an
or fit a narrative.
investigation into
That
what
has
happened in
never been
November
my
of
function
2020.
and will never be my function. My
Pence
main
had
mission
every
throughout
right
all
under
of
the
this,
Constitution to
and I
call
have tried
for
to
an
explain on
investigation
more than
into
one
the
occasion,
electors and the
is to have the
situation
story
around the
straight,
vote per state.
just in case things
But they
go
needed
horribly
something
wrong.
to arise to
The only thing
shut
we
that
have
down,
available at night is firelight,
hence the 6th of January.
and I'll be able to explain to
But we
people
already knew all
who are
that,
hungry and desperate, who don't
right?
understand why they're in
At
that
least I
state,
hope so.
how they got there.
Now, this part is for the liberals. Do you really think it's not possible at this point that your leaders have been lying to you? Do you really think that Donald Trump is the true criminal here? Or do you see this for what it is? The Democrat policy has been, for years and years, to accuse the other side of what they're doing themselves in order to deflect blame. I attempted to explain this when it became obvious that they were going to go after Trump in a video called How It Works, which coincidentally is about the time my channel started being heavily shadow banned and suppressed, and not too many videos later, removed from the platform for 8 months with no answer to my appeals and no explanation. At the very least, not one that I found acceptable. Why, after the fourth or maybe fifth appeal, I got reinstated, I still don't know. But apparently, it crawled up somebody's tail, because after my content was reviewed and approved for the site, I started receiving strikes on reviewed and approved content. Something I found to be completely illogical, not to mention unprofessional. But that's neither here nor there at this point. So let's get back to the truth, instead of the narrative fantasy that a lot of people seem to still be living, even though common sense and good judgment says different. First, a little remedial history. Martin Luther King was a problem for the Democrat power structure, so he was dealt with. Malcolm X was a problem to the Democrat power structure because he was calling them out for exactly what they were, so he was dealt with as well. What happened to the Kennedy brothers? That's a whole nother facet to this poop diamond. The civil rights movement was hijacked through the colleges, and the very professors who taught the professors that are handing out degrees today were running the whole damn thing. Then started what's called the social justice movement in order to bring more young people on their side and indoctrinate what amounts to an entire generation, if not two, into their Marxist ideology, which in the end cements their power and ensures that the truth never comes out to the people. Because if the people ever found out, by accident or design, that they were involved with the formation of the KKK and the execution of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, it would be game over. It was the Democrats who opposed the civil rights movement in the beginning. It was the Democrats who were for segregation and voted against integration. It was the same liberal Democrats that Malcolm X talked about that felt the need to control the minority vote and built what can only be described as inner city plantations in order to keep it, the whole time insisting that they were their friends and on their side. The concept of slavery has never went away in this country. It just went dormant for a time. because the inner structure and framework of what we are witnessing trying to be instituted today had to be built. The young people who call themselves woke progressive Democrats have no clue to the depths to which they have been deceived, which kind of surprises me because supposedly these people are educated and understand the ways of the world. When it's pretty obvious, at least wise to me and a hell of a lot of other people, that you all ain't got a damn clue because you don't know your history, or at the very least, you have been taught the wrong version of it. You don't do your research because you're more than happy to fall for or take to heart what your leaders have to say, when the majority of us know your leaders are full of it and have been for quite some time. That brings me to something Mark Twain said years and years ago. It's easier to convince someone of a lie than to convince someone they have been lied to. So the reality of the situation is we're all in the same boat. We've all been lied to. It's just that some people bought into it and some people didn't. It's just unfortunate that the people who didn't raise their voices when they realized they had been lied to. If so, maybe we wouldn't be playing the dangerous game that we're playing today. We're all witnessing the open corruption, and dare I say treason, that goes on right under our noses and has been going on for quite some time. And that's just what they do when they're at work. What they do in their off hours when they think people aren't looking. Well, let me put it like this. If you don't believe what you're seeing unfold right before your very eyes, you'll never believe what they do when they think we're not looking. That's why a movie that everyone should be behind and supporting, some people are against. Some people are trying to suppress, and others are outright calling a conspiracy that the rest of us know to be true. Why would anyone try to downplay human trafficking unless they have something to hide? Or fundamentally believe in the concept of enslaving others? The short and glaringly obvious answer is they wouldn't. What the liberal Democrats who work behind the scenes of the social media companies, YouTube and Google in particular, don't seem to realize that when this all comes out, and it's going to, they will be unemployable. There will be no way in hell that they're going to get another job, at least wise not in the industry that they're in now, because they were covering up for the people who believe in such things, who institute such policies, who were trying to hide atrocities from the rest of the world. Everything that has happened since 2016 has been to expose all of this. A chain of events set up to bring us to where we are today. Is it a dangerous game? You bet your ass it is. And this game is for all the marbles. And those who aren't willing to acknowledge that they've been lied to will, in the end, lose everything because of it. And if you're employed at Google or YouTube, just remember, I tried to warn you on more than one occasion. And I'm so glad that I'm not you.